Hello Indianapolis 500 fans, welcome to Formula Pun Racer. I admit that being in a cemetery may not be the best of videos to die for, but with a few hours to go before qualifications for the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 is to resume today, I thought I'd pay homage to an Indy 500 winner who's buried here in West Laurel Hill Cemetery in Bala, Cynwyd. This is the final resting place of 1912 Indianapolis 500 winner Joe Dawson. Joseph Crooke Dawson was born in Wheldon, Indiana on July 17, 1889. In the inaugural running in 1911's Indy 500, he was teammates at Marmon with Ray Harroun and Cyrus Patchkey and finished 5th. The following year, a month after the Titanic sank and his brother Jack Dawson died in the Titanic disaster, Joe Dawson would go on to win the Indy 500. So interestingly enough, when Dawson was the king of Indy a month before, his brother Jack was king of the world. Now, I'm just kidding about the whole thing. There's no such thing as such. Let's just say that when it comes to Joe Dawson, I knew that he was the 1912 Indy 500 winner long before James Cameron gave us Titanic. So when I saw Titanic and saw that Leo DiCaprio's character's name was Jack Dawson, I instantly thought of Joe Dawson because of the close proximity from the Titanic tragedy to Joe's gained fame by winning the 1912 Indianapolis 500. So forever, Joe, you are the king of the Brickyard. He only led 2 laps in the 1912 race, and he had a relief driver for 37 of those 200 laps named Donald Herbert Herr, who didn't seem to get any credit just because he didn't lead many laps. But the same could be said with Cyrus Patchkey as well for being a relief driver for Ray Harroun in the inaugural running. It was one and done for Cyrus and Ray. Donald would race in the 1913 Indy 500 but wouldn't get very far himself. But for Joe, well, he held 2 records for some time, one of which was being the youngest to win the Indy 500 at 22 years old and 323 days. But by 1952, Troy Ruttman would break that record by being the youngest to win the Indy 500 at the age of 22 years old and 86 days. But more so, Joe Dawson, when he won the Indianapolis 500 in 1912, he led only 2 laps, the least amount of laps led by any winning driver. And it all occurred because Ralph De Palma was leading the most laps of Indy, the most led by any driver who did not win in a single race. And Ralph De Palma was so close to a dominant performance when his car broke down, letting Joe Dawson slide on by. For those 2 laps that was led by Joe Dawson, it was a record that would stand for 99 years because by 2011, Dan Wheldon of Emberton, England, led only a few hundred meters of the entire race. But it was the only thing that mattered, as Dan Wheldon would take his 2nd Indy 500 win, a record that most likely might never occur again, like the least amount of laps led at Indy before going on to win. Joseph Dawson unfortunately died in a car accident coming home from Bensalem as he was an inspector for the Langhorne Speedway, which is now defunct. It was June 17th, 1946 that he lost his life. And so, we'll never let go, Joe, of your memories that you gave to the Indianapolis 500. So I'm here today to lay this checkered flag on your behalf. Congratulations for winning the Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in racing. To any family members of Joe Dawson, I hope you like this tribute, and I'll see you on race day. Prepare for the Indianapolis 500, and Godspeed, Joe Dawson. Congrats once again on winning at the Brickyard. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.